In Pittsburgh tonight, it's a heavyweight fight in the guise of a football game as the Baltimore Ravens get into the ring with the Steelers on Sunday Night Football.
America, it's time. Sunday night is the night where the stars come out to shine. Under prime time lights, it's more than a fight. It's where heavyweights collide. Tonight, the Ravens and Steelers lay it all on the line.
All right, Sunday night, where are you? Waiting for the game that bleeds red, white, and blue. You want some football? We want it too. Hey, Jack, it's a fact. The show's back in town. It always gets nasty when these two get down. The stadium's rocking. Time to crank up the sound. The NFL's best has come to play. Coast to coast, there's just one thing left to say. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night. Get on your feet for a star-spangled flight. More than a game, it's every fan's right. That's why we're waiting all day for Sunday night.
Ray Rice is in for the touchdown.
Oh, my goodness.
What an interception by Troy Polamalu.
Sunday Night Football on NBC. Al, Ed, and Chris are the best on TV. The stars are out. It's the place to be. 'Cause the NFL rocks on NBC.
Terrible towels twirling all over Heinz Field in Pittsburgh as Ray Lewis leads his Baltimore Ravens into Western Pennsylvania to take on Troy Polamalu and the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya, welcome to the NFL's version of a back alley brawl. So many memorable games in this series, and we're set up for another one tonight. Ravens come in 5-2. On opening day, they beat Pittsburgh in Baltimore 35-7. They pitched a perfect game. But as usual, it's all about defense again this season in Baltimore. They have the #1 defense in the National Football League, but they'll have their hands full tonight because the Steelers are playing very well. After that opening day shellacking in Baltimore, they won 6 of their next 7, so they come in with a mark of 6-2. They have the #2 defense in the league, and Ben Roethlisberger, in a word, has been outstanding. As far as this rivalry, this intense rivalry is concerned, Chris, we asked Mike Tomlin to sum it up the other day. He said, I know one thing, both training rooms on Monday are a mess. That's one way to put it.
The only thing to make this game better is if these two defenses got a chance to play against each other out there. But in this era of quarterbacks throwing the ball 50 times a game and for over 400 yards, this game just feels different. It's about fight. It's about toughness. And it really has become my favorite game of the year.
And then ironically, each of these quarterbacks threw 50 times last week, and they won their games. Now, as far as the matchup is concerned, it doesn't figure a team's going to win this game by 28 points. So what do you see happening here tonight?
Well, Ben Roethlisberger, you hit on it. It's really been playing about as well as anybody in the National Football League. Just named the AFC Offensive Player of the Month. And yet when you go back to that opening day game, I thought Joe Flacco played perhaps the best game of his career. And if the Ravens are going to come out here with a win, he's going to have to match that game.
He did indeed. This is a game that sells itself. It's the Ravens, it's the Steelers. Enough said on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. By Subway Restaurants. Get your own Subway steak melt today. And by Hyundai. If it's fuel efficient and stylish, it's probably a Hyundai. Spanish audio provided by Telemundo.
Join our team. Become a fan of Sunday Night Football on Facebook. And for live reports throughout tonight's game, follow Michelle Tafoya on Twitter at SNF on NBC.
NBC Sports, home of Super Bowl 46, welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
perfect title for a film about this series. Mike Tomlin, in his 5th season as the Steelers head coach, has been to 2 Super Bowls already. Moments ago, spoke with Michelle Tafoya.
Coach, your counterpart John Harbaugh said you got to go to a dark place to get ready for this rivalry. How would you describe what it's like to participate in this game?
Well, for us, it just has to be fundamental. We acknowledge that emotions are going to be a big part of this thing. We got to do what we normally do. We got to do the ordinary things. We just got to do them extremely well.
You were really disappointed in your team's Week 1 performance at Baltimore. You said it'd be a long time before you got rid of that stench. What's got to happen tonight to beat Baltimore?
We got to take care of the football. I think their defense has distinguished itself by creating splash plays and scoring. We can't let that happen. We got to get a few of our own.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
And on the injury front, a mixed bag for the Steelers. Linebackers Lamar, Woodley, and James Ferrier are out, but they get James Harrison back. Wide receiver Hines Ward returns. He will play on a sprained right ankle, but he'll be limited. As for the Ravens, left guard Ben Grubbs returns. Hasn't played since Week 1. He will start.
Thank you, Michelle. As you look at John Harbaugh in his 4th season as the coach of the Ravens, his brother, the rookie head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, won again today. 49ers, one of the big surprises of the year. Harbaugh has taken his team to the playoffs in each of his 3 seasons. Pittsburgh won the toss and deferred, so they'll go on defense as Sean Sweezum sends it a yard into the end zone. David Reed to bring it back, and Reed hit hard as he reaches the 23-yard line. And that is where Joe Flacco will set up shop. Played his, even though he doesn't say that he necessarily ranks at number 1 in Week 1, probably the best game he's played. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. There were his numbers in his career in 7 regular season games, 3 and 4 against the Steelers. And he's faced them twice in postseason as well, with the Steelers winning both of those games. From the 24 on 1st down. And they start on the ground, and they give the ball to Rice, and he cuts it back, and Rice off to the races, as he was in Game 1 in Baltimore. But there's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. For the moment, Rice has gone into the end zone, but the way the Ravens are reacting, and Rice can do all the celebrating he wants, but wait till he looks back and sees that flag, because that's going to negate a 76-yarder.
82. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
That is Torrey Smith, the wide receiver, with the hold.
Smith, the young phenom, not even at the point of attack here, just goes down against William Gay. Kind of grabs the outside of the shoulder pads there. Wow. I tell you, we were watching to see whether or not Marshall Yanda was going to cut Casey Hampton on the very first play. That was such a big part of the first story, but he did not. But definitely Casey Hampton was going backwards on that play, and in part created that hole. Here is the hold one more time. Let's take a look.
Well, Gay was in a position to make the tackle, so it's easy to say it cost him a 76-yarder, but without the hold, Gay probably makes a stop after a gain of maybe 8.
That's a play that doesn't get called a lot in this league, I will say that.
Now Ricky Williams comes in because already Rice needs a breather after that 76-yard scamper. Polamalu makes the tackle. Ricky Williams, the Heisman Trophy winner at Texas a dozen years ago, the backup to Rice.
Troy Polamalu making an early statement on that one, coming off the edge, basically circling all the way around and making the tackle. When the games get big, that guy seems to get even bigger.
2nd down and 7. The fullback is Leach. Williams is the running back. They give it to Williams. That's a big hole over the right side. And that'll set up a 3rd and 2 as we take a look at the Raven offense.
Joe Flacco, University of Delaware.
Ray Rice, Rutgers University. Vontae Lee, East Carolina.
Anquan Bolden, Florida State University.
Torrey Smith, Maryland. Ed Dixon, Oregon Ducks.
Brian McKinney, EU.
Ben Grubbs, Auburn University.
Matt Burke, Harvard.
Marshall Yanda, Iowa.
Michael Ward, University of Ole Miss.
Ravens shuffling around on that offensive line, but they're really happy to have Grubbs back, as Michelle reported at the top, for the first time since the opener. 3rd and 2. Flacco out of the shotgun. Four-man rush and a short pass to the outside. That's going to get the first down as Ricky Williams takes the ball to the 43-yard line. Knocked out by Jason Worrell's first down.
Well, so many times when the Steelers are playing the Ravens, it's Ray Rice coming out of the backfield as a receiver that makes such a difference. Ricky Williams, one playing that role there, and here's James Harrison, his first rush back from the injury, and he looks like his old self.
Now Rice back in the game. They give it to Ray this time. Not much happening over the left side of the line. It's a gain of 2. Polamalu knifing through to make the tackle.
Same thing again. Troy Polamalu going to come around the edge. This is the kind of speed this guy has to hit the play from all the way on the backside. A little help from Jason Worrell as well, but some early play action may be in order if that's the way Polamalu is going to play around the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 8. Flacco has not used play action as much as he has in the past. And with Chris talking about what Polamalu is doing, maybe we'll see more of it. Not here, as it's a swing to Rice, and Rice gets taken down in the open field by Larry Foote, and we meet the Steeler defense.
Mickey Hood, Missouri.
Casey Hampton, Texas.
Brett Kiesel, Grable High School. Go Buffs.
Jason Worrells, Lunchpail Defense.
Larry Foote, Michigan.
Lawrence Timmons, Florida State.
James Harrison, Kent State.
William Gay, Louisville.
Troy Polamalu, University of Southern California.
Ryan Clark, LSU.
Ike T. Swagger University.
Ike Taylor having a heck of a season. 9th year at Louisiana Lafayette. That secondary doing a good job this year. 3rd down and 6. Flacco under pressure, and then it's caught. It's caught by Dennis Pitta, one of the 2 tight ends. They use Pitta and Dixon a lot. Flacco loves to go to both of them. That's a 23-yard gain just before he got hit in the first down.
Great job by Flacco here. They're going to bring all the pressure around this way, and Flacco is going to retreat just a bit and buy a little bit of time. And these 2 tight ends for the Ravens now starting to have a big impact on this organization. They are moving towards those guys, playing together more and more.
Flacco out of what would be like a pistol formation here. That short snap, and here's Ricky Williams to the 28-yard line, taken down there by Timmons. So Flacco comes out of Delaware. Originally went to school in Pittsburgh and then left here and wound up at Delaware. Got drafted in the 1st round and was the starter for the Ravens right from the get-go. Has the 3rd longest consecutive game streak going right now in terms of consecutive starts, behind Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers. 2nd down and 7. All out blitz, and the pass is incomplete. Anquan Boldin covered on the play by Taylor. He had Harrison, among others, racing in to put the heat on. It's 3rd down and 7.
Lawrence Timmons back in at middle linebacker now. He's going to come on the blitz, and watch Ricky Williams right here pick it up. For Joe Flacco, that's going to be key. He's going to take some shots as he's throwing the ball tonight. And Ike Taylor, you were talking about him, Al. He has had a tremendous year. That's a throw they tried to get into Bolden a lot. Successful last week.
3rd down and 7. Opening drive of the game. This is the 10th play for Baltimore. Play clock to 1. They just do get it off, and the pass is caught on a slant by Boldin, coming off a huge day in that win last week against Arizona, erasing a 21-point deficit. Tackled by Taylor, another 3rd down conversion, and a 15-yard gain for a first.
Well, not many guys tougher than Anquan Boldin to try and get a jam at the line of scrimmage. That time able to get inside of Ike Taylor to pick up the big first down. I tell you, it was Anquan Boldin who took this team on his back last week. They were down 24-3, brought them all the way back with one of the most brilliant performances we've seen all year.
That time Arizona Cardinal, and then the pass is caught out of bounds by Torrey Smith. Flag on the play. William Gay with the coverage. The flag is down at the goal line. Walt Coleman is the referee. So you had contact, receiver, defensive back, and the call goes against.
Pass interference, number 22, defense. Foul occurred in the end zone. Will place the ball at the 1-yard line.
Against Gay, a lot of pushing and shoving, and it's 1st and goal at the 1.
Yeah, you'll see William Gay extend both hands and get him in there early tough call, but I think the right call. And for the Ravens, they had 3 pass interference calls last week in that game to put them on the 1-yard line. And here they go. They start this game the exact same way. It's amazing.
Ravens going against the league's second-ranked defense. Fake to Rice. Flacco rolling and then almost has it picked off. Dangerous pass in the end zone. Ryan Clark came over and knocked it away. Second down and goal.
Not only was it ill-advised, it was poorly thrown. Flacco comes out, and I think, okay, he's going to lead him out over the end line. He throws it behind everybody. He even threw it behind Ryan Clark. Almost a monumental mistake on first down.
And on second down, Rice, nothing doing. Gets stonewalled. Going through the middle of the line, setting up a third down and goal.
Well, 2 of the toughest guys, Troy Polamalu and Larry Foote, are both going to hit the same hole at the same time. Not a pleasant experience for Ray Rice.
13th play of the drive. 6 passes, 6 runs. And on third and goal, it is Rice. Rice keeps those legs going and doesn't get it. He is stopped just short of the goal line. So now what? So now if you're Harbaugh, you've got less than a yard to go. Rice thinks it's a touchdown.
Yeah, forward progress, Al. Watch the entirety of this play. Rice is going to get stuffed, no question. Apparently they blow the whistle here. But as he continues to fight and Vontae Leach comes up and pushes him, he is actually going to get in the end zone. But I think the officials are going to say we blew the whistle there, so it doesn't matter what happened after that.
Wasn't a scoring play, so not reviewed upstairs. They could have challenged it, probably would have lost it. Meanwhile, they're going to go for a field goal. Billy Cundiff with a 19-yard field goal, so they opt to go for the 3 inside the 1. And Baltimore draws first blood. Sunday Night Football from Pittsburgh being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. You can find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Hyundai, if it's fuel efficient and stylish, it's probably a Hyundai. By Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go. And by McDonald's, I'm loving it. Three Rivers, the Allegheny, Monongahela, and the Ohio. Pittsburgh, PA, beautiful day, beautiful weekend. Temperature today up in the low 60s, 48 at game time. The Ravens, Cundiff, it's good news, bad news. 2/3 of his kicks are touchbacks, but when they run them back, the Ravens are giving up 35 yards per return, which is awful.
Here it comes.
Well, we're going to get another run back from 2 yards in. This is Antonio Brown. And this time the coverage is pretty good as Brown brings it out to the 23-yard line. So Big Ben and the Steeler offense will have it for the first time when we come back. Ben Roethlisberger, look at those numbers. Last week against New England, 50 attempts, completed 36, had a huge day, beat the Patriots. He said, I couldn't believe when I got the game plan. I thought they were kidding on Tuesday. But that's what they did. They came out throwing, built up an early lead, and won the game. From the 23 on first down, they start on the ground with Mendenhall up to the 30-yard line. Now take another look at Ray Rice on that third and goal play, and listen to the whistle when the whistle sounds. And there it was. So it's before he reaches the goal line. Now, if you want to challenge it, you could if you're Harbaugh, but keep in mind too, audio doesn't play a part in it. They only look at the pictures. They don't listen for any whistles. They would have lost the challenge anyway. Second down and 1 from the 31-yard line. And Roethlisberger off the play fake, extending the play as he does so brilliantly, and it almost has it intercepted by Bernard Pollard, a little floater, and he couldn't hang on. It'll be third down and 1.
It's kind of one of those triple pump fakers from Ben Roethlisberger, and then he tried a little finessey one over the new safety Bernard Pollard, who's really known more as a big hitter, but almost came up with a huge interception on this one. So we maybe have some quarterbacks out here with a little case of the nerves. We saw Joe Flacco with an ill-advised pass, and then Ben returned the favor.
And that makes it 3rd down and 1. So after the Mendenhall 9-yard gain, Mendenhall and Redmond are both in the backfield right now. And a little flip to Mendenhall, and he's going to get tackled by Ladarius Webb, the corner. So they start out with a 9-yard gain on 1st down, and in comes the punting group. They've lost Daniel Sepulveda, their punter. He's on injured reserve again, and they've re-signed Jeremy Kapanos, who comes in.
What a play by Ladarius Webb. Off the block of Mike Wallace, gets in the backfield, not only makes the tackle, but doesn't allow him to move him forward. That's a much bigger man than what Ladarius Webb is. This tone has been set.
Here's Kapanos, who kicked for them last year at the end of the year after Sepulveda was hurt. And it's a line drive kick, and that's Webb, who just made that last defensive play, bringing it back to the 32-yard line. So the Ravens get the football back, leading Pittsburgh 3-0. There's the website at the top. You can check out SNF Extra, stats, highlights, the show from the sidelines. You can even direct the game yourself. I know Drew Esikoff, and you know Drew Esikoff, but you can fool around with your own camera angles anyway. SNF Extra at NBCSports.com. So now the Ravens from the 32-yard line, after they opted to go for a field goal on a 4th and goal from inside the 1, the ball at the 32-yard line. And they give it to Rice. And Chris, when you look at that decision, that's the kind of thing down the line you'll think back, well, maybe that will be a very big decision to go for the 3 instead of going for the touchdown.
You just wonder if John Harbaugh may have gone for it against any other team in any other stadium. But they all spoke of how important they felt it was to play with the lead. And they played with the lead the last time they played the Steelers. My feeling is he just wanted to strike first and guarantee it.
So they get the 3 at 2nd down and 6. 2nd down to 6 minutes left in the quarter. And Rice gets stopped at the 35. When you look at these two teams and the opening day game, 35-7. In that game, the Steelers turned the ball over 7 times.
Well, Casey Hampton on the nose tackle here is trying to get penetration up the field against that stretch play. But you can tell he is cognizant of those guys coming down around his knees. It was an issue in the first game. Tomlin telling us that basically he thought it was just because it was the first game and they hadn't had any live action yet.
And now Baltimore is going to take a timeout before a 3rd and 7. 3-0 Ravens. This week, Jay Leno will have Kelsey Grammer, Whitney Cummings, Jason Segel, and Kermit the Frog among the guests. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, weeknights on NBC. The Clemente Bridge, named after Roberto Clemente, the great Pittsburgh Pirate. As we come back to Heinz Field, 3rd down and 7 after the timeout. Pittsburgh showing blitz, which is something they do with great frequency. Good protection. Pass caught over the middle, and that's Dennis Pitta picking up the 1st down. So Flacco patient. Line protects him well, and it's a 1st down for the Ravens.
Nice play that time by Ben Grubbs. Right here is going to slide over and pick up James Harrison coming on that blitz. And that allowed Joe Flacco a rare opportunity to just sit in the pocket and find somebody open for the 1st down.
Flacco 5 out of 7 for 59 yards. Loves to go to his tight ends and his running back. Over 60% of his passes to those guys as Williams takes it out to the 44. Ricky brought aboard to really just give Ray Rice a blow from time to time. Came in on the first series, and there's Rice on the sideline again. Williams has set up a 2nd and 8. He's already carried 4 times tonight for 13 yards.
I think James Harrison is back. Watch him come off the edge here. He's going to get a piece of Dennis Pitta and just come off and make the play. I had some doubt. And there's the other battle going on. Polamalu and Bolden, 2 of the toughest guys playing their respective positions too.
Harrison coming off a broken orbital bone. Missed 4 weeks, and that pass is incomplete. Intended for the fleet Torrey Smith. covered by Gay. Smith, the rookie, and Smith, you'll recall, against St. Louis, week 3, the first 3 passes he caught in his career all went for touchdowns.
Let's see if Gay gets away with a hold here. Right there. It grabs the jersey, slowed him down just enough, a ball that still should have and could have been caught, but the officials simply did not see the hold on that one. Joe Flacco did.
Yep. 3rd and 9. Flacco is 5 of his first 8 for 59 yards. Blitz coming again. They pick up Harrison again, and this time adjusting and making the catch is Torrey Smith. Pass a little underthrown. He came back toward the line of scrimmage and makes the catch at the 28-yard line. Got inside in position on Keenan Lewis for a gain of 29.
Keenan Lewis is the nickel guy here, and once Troy Polamalu shifted over to the middle of the field, Joe Flacco just threw that one up, and I think intentionally underthrew that ball and allowed Torrey Smith to come back and make the play.
Now they pick up the pace, get to the line of scrimmage in a hurry, and Rice around the left side gets planted by Lawrence Timmons and Larry Foote. Loss of 1.
Boy, Lawrence Timmons is a guy that is taking on a unique role on this defense. An inside linebacker for Dick LeBeau, who's had to play outside linebacker because of all the injuries. They were excited to get James Harrison back, but then they lost Lamar Woodley, so the shuffle continues at the linebacker position. We talked about all the cutting inside. There's Marshall Yanda, got him again.
No fun. 2nd down and 10. Pump fake, and then Rice chugs his way inside the 25, spotted at the 22, setting up a 3rd down and 5 inside 3 minutes to play in the opening frame.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that they're cutting Casey Hampton a lot. I want to emphasize that is not an illegal play. An adjacent lineman is allowed to go and cut the guy next to him. It's a point of frustration, however, for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Casey Hampton, and it was one that was much talked about after that first game.
Hampton out on the 3rd and 5. Ravens have converted 5 of 6 3rd down opportunities already. Blitz again, pass tipped in the air and falls incomplete. William Gay got a hand on it, and it's 4th down, and Cundiff will come in to try to make it 6-0.
Well, they're working against William Gay inside with these tight ends. Here's Ed Dixon, and you would think that's a bit of a mismatch, but Dixon was a wide receiver in college, and a lot like the New England Patriots, we're seeing this Ravens team go to more and more the 2 tight end set that they can run from or spread it out and make the throws.
40-yard attempt, as you saw, 32 in a row from inside 50. And, of course, the minute you put up something like that, it's the kibosh. The kibosh strikes. 2:08 left in the quarter. 3-0. Well, you see those numbers, 22 plays to 3. It's been all Baltimore on offense, and yet it's only 3-0. And after the missed field goal, Pittsburgh begins this drive from the 30. So Cundiff, who had 32 straight from inside 50, misses one here. Clear night in Pittsburgh. They go with 3 tight ends here on 1st down from the 30-yard line. And with max protection, the pass is caught by Heath Miller, and the crowd salutes him. He caught 6 passes against New England in the first quarter last week. He had an appetizer, an entree, and dessert all in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, early play action, we talked about it. Both the strong safety, Bernard Pollard, and the inside linebacker, Jameel McClain, came up on the play fake, and Ben was able to hit it over the top.
A minute and a half left in the quarter after a gain of 15. Fake to Mendenhall. And Ben, he's going to pack it in. Takes it to the 48. Let's take a look at the Steeler offense.
Ben Roethlisberger, Miami University.
Rashard Mendenhall, Illinois. David Johnson, Arkansas State. Mike Wallace, Old Perry-Walter High School.
Antonio Brown, Central Michigan.
Heath Miller, Virginia.
Max Starks, Florida Gators.
Chris Kimoyatu, Utah.
Marquise Pouncey, Florida. Ramon Foster, Tennessee. Marcus Gilbert, University of Florida.
You know, I laugh every time I see that Mike Wallace hairstyle. Classic.
We just wish we could do it.
Yeah, if we don't look good, we don't look good. 2nd down and 8. Roethlisberger throws back across the field, and wide open is Antonio Brown, and gets by Reed just for the moment, but Reed got enough of him to stop him at the 21-yard line. Ben Roethlisberger so good at rolling right, coming back all the way across the field, gain of 32.
Antonio Brown just got lost in the wash early down, bootleg away, and just one of those plays where you sneak somebody out the backside, and the Ravens just dropped the ball on that one. So now we're starting to see Ben in this offense that's been playing so well of late starting to loosen up a bit.
They went 3 and out on their first drive. Now they've run 3 plays for 49 yards, and that's going to take us to the end of the quarter before the snap. End of the first 15 minutes in Pittsburgh. It is Baltimore 3, Pittsburgh nothing. And NBC Sunday Night Football continues after these messages. Beautiful shot downtown Pittsburgh. Aerial coverage tonight being brought to you by Geico. Pittsburgh, PA on this Sunday night. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Michelle Tafoya. Hines Ward active tonight, inactive last week, but limited 3rd down in special situations, and on the sideline right now as we start the 2nd quarter. And Roethlisberger has to get it away and then sidearms it to Mendenhall, and he gets taken down at the 18-yard line. Let's take a look at that Baltimore defense, #1 in the league.
Altingata, Oregon. Terrence Cody, Alabama.
Corey Redding, University of Texas.
Jarrett Johnson, Alabama. Ray Lewis, University of Miami.
Jamel McClain, Syracuse University.
Sizzle, Ball So Hard University.
Kadarius Webb, Nicholls State University.
Bernard Pollard, the Boilermakers.
Ed Reed, the U.
Kerry Williams, Washburn.
Suggs, something about those Arizona State guys. 2nd down and 7, the ball at the 18-yard line. Sizzle. Roethlisberger throwing, and that pass is incomplete in the end zone. Everybody wants a flag, but there is none. Webb covering Brown, and it'll be 3rd down and 7.
One of the first things you have to do is get Suggs blocked on the outside. One of the top tight ends in the game. Heath Miller handles that part of it. And now is this interference. You get the right arm on the hip. Is there a turn? A little bit. Was it catchable? All those things went into a very quick decision.
3rd and 7. You've got Ward in the game right now. He's on a wing to the right. Stacking receivers on both sides with Redmond in the backfield. And Roethlisberger throws over the middle, and that's very close to a first down. Then the ball comes out, and they say no. They're going to say that it came out after Ward hit the ground. Hit there by Ray Lewis. These two guys are facing each other for the 23rd time in regular season competition, and Ward is now hurt.
Well, here we go already. Here's Hines Ward, who has defined so many of these matchups with big hits. You think of the one against Ed Reed a few years ago. And now here's Ray Lewis returning the favor. Is it helmet-to-helmet contact? That'll be one thing they'll look at, because this is a defenseless receiver at that point.
And so Ward, nearing the end of his career, and well, he's aware of that, obviously, as they're making the transition, and now has to obviously come out of the game here after making the catch. A little bit short of the first down. They blew the whistle, so there was no fumble. And the shaky Ward comes out there, also minus one of their emerging receivers tonight, Emmanuel Sanders, whose mother died last week, and he went back to Texas. He is back in town tonight, but not in uniform. So now Ward has to come out, and Sanders is inactive tonight.
Well, Ray is going to come up, no question, helmet to helmet, and that's what did the damage there. The ball came out afterwards. And now big decision time as well. We've got 4th down and a yard. So now Tomlin deciding to go for it in this situation when Harbaugh decided to pass earlier.
At least to line up to go for it. Could just be trying to draw him offside, but watching the Steelers through the years, well, now Ben's going to take a look, wanting to see what that defense would look like. And then the Ravens are also going to challenge the reception. So before he could even call a timeout, if that's what he wanted to do, Harbaugh may want to challenge whether it was a catch. And here's Walt Coleman.
Baltimore is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
So Coleman will check it out after Lewis checks out Ward. So Harbaugh has challenged. We think that the play is going to stand, that Ward was down, had control, hit the ground, whistle sounds. Take another look here.
Remember, you're making the catch, contact in the process of going to the ground, so you have to maintain control all the way to the ground. There it is. Now, did the hip of Pollard cause that ball to come out? Here's the real time, and a lot of times officials will use this, and from that angle, you could make the argument he didn't complete the process of the catch. The angle from the other way made it look like he did, and then Pollard's hip knocked it out late. So interesting challenge by John Harbaugh.
After reviewing the play, the receiver did not maintain possession going to the ground. So it's an incomplete pass. Be 4th and 7 at the 18-yard line. Baltimore will not be charged a timeout.
Well, close, and it went the other way. We thought it would stand. Harbaugh wins the challenge, and that will set up a field goal attempt.
And remember, officials will use this sort of real-time view of it, as well as all the slow motion as well, and that may have been the defining look.
So it would have been 4th and 1. They were lining up to go for it. Now Sean Sweezum, in his second season with the team, he's been around, been a lot of places through the years. And Jeremy Kapanos is the holder. Remember, Sepulveda, the kicker or the punter, now on injured reserve. Kapanos did hold last year, and he's been around. He's held in Green Bay and here last year, even in the Super Bowl. And now they're going to go over where the ball was and all of the rest, which was the 18-yard line, which is going to set up about a 36-yard field goal attempt. Want to make sure they've got the time on the clock right. Yard line is correct. That's all taken care of. Kapanos will hold now for Sweezum, a 36-yard attempt to tie the game. The snapper is Greg Warren. Kicking to the open end of the field. And this one is good. So a minute into the second quarter. We're tied at 3 in Pittsburgh. Tomorrow night, week 2, Brian Williams hosting Rock Center, 10 Eastern and Pacific, 9 Central and Mountain. Tina Fey will stop by with Brian. That's tomorrow night, Rock Center with Brian Williams, right here on NBC. Heinz Field, home of the Steelers since 2001. Squeeze him to kick off. David Reed to run it back. And Reed from 4 yards in the end zone. Straight up the middle. And he gets by, squeeze him, and then the ball is loose at the 40-yard line. And the Ravens alertly recover the ball at the 41-yard line. McFadden on the tackle. And the Ravens are able to come up with the ball. Levante Leach saving the moment. So Reed with a good run back all the way through the middle. There's McFadden dislodging it. Then Leach is there to keep the ball for the Ravens.
Give Sweezum some credit, though. He slowed him down just enough to allow the posse to get there.
1st and 10 from the 41. Flacco off the play fake throws, and a pass incomplete. Trying to get it to Ed Dixon, who had sprung free. 2nd down and 10.
Well, we've talked about James Harrison's return and what it means to the Pittsburgh Steelers, sort of right on time for this defense. On the outside, the other really key matchup is Ike Taylor going against Anquan Bolden. Pretty good coverage on that one. James Harrison just brings a different feel to the game when he's out there for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He's been doing that for all 8 years he's been in the league. And that pass, trying to thread it in there to Torrey Smith, incomplete. 3rd down and 10 for the Ravens.
You know, this is an interesting Ravens offense right now because they're sort of stuck between two offenses as we speak. They've got the fullback Vontae Leach and Ray Rice and sort of the power running game that's been successful. But lately, especially last week, Joe Flacco with a huge comeback out of the 2-minute drill and the hurry-up offense. And so they're trying to merge the two a little bit right now.
It's either feast or famine. They've been awful in their 2 losses to Jacksonville and Tennessee, but in their 5 wins, they've scored at least 29 points in each game. 3rd and 10, and Flacco escapes the pressure and throws, and that's caught by Laquan Williams, a rookie from Maryland, as is Torrey Smith, and a 1st down on a 3rd and 15.
Yeah, one of the things that happens when Ray Rice comes out of the backfield, you end up with a guy like Troy Polamalu who has to pay so much attention to him. The underneath coverage on that zone just wasn't there. James Harrison working the stunt inside, and there's Ben Grubbs, who is a welcome addition back on this offensive line. Andre Gerard did a good job, but nowhere close to what Ben Grubbs is doing.
Ravens very proficient tonight on 3rd down and 3rd and long for the most part. Here is Rice for a gain of 1. The Steelers, when you take a look at this team, that defense, number 2 in the league, but only 3 takeaways in half a season. That's the fewest by any team in NFL history through 8 games. It's amazing. They're -10 on the give-take table. Of course, they were -7 on opening day against Baltimore. Only 3 takeaways all year in a team with a mark of 6-2.
Which makes that even more remarkable.
2nd down and 9. Rice. One thing we should frame with this game, if Pittsburgh wins, they would go to 7-2. They'd be all alone in first place. If Baltimore wins, they go to 6-2. They've already had their bye, and they would be tied with the Cincinnati Bengals.
It's amazing. And for the Cincinnati, they catch Pittsburgh next week. And, of course, Pittsburgh coming off of this game and the game against New England, how focused you think they'll really be on the Bengals. So not bad timing for the Bengals.
Well, what's so funny is you look at Pittsburgh's schedule and say, well, they're done with Baltimore in early November, and then they get Cincinnati twice. Well, all of a sudden, it's a different Cincinnati. 3rd and 4, and Harrison came across the line and missed the flag. And in effect, a free play, and Pitta makes the catch.
Yeah, and a 1st down. That is a big one.
So you want the plays about the distance of the penalty.
Number 92, defense. A penalty's declined. Play results in a 1st down.
Yeah, you get a 5-yard penalty and a 1st down, or maybe a 5.5-yard gain in the 1st down.
That's when the quarterback says, "I'll take the stat, thank you very much."
You're right. And the tight end does too. As Pitta makes his 3rd catch of the game. You can see the field pretty chewed up. They played a college game here last night. This is where the University of Pittsburgh plays. And they played the Cincinnati Bearcats and lost to them last night here. And now you've got Williams, and Williams gets taken down by Hampton at the line of scrimmage. 2 guys from the University of Texas.
One of the things that Casey Hampton wants to do on this stretch play is to get penetration back this way. He does it perfectly right here. No way for Matt Burke to get there, and that play never had a chance. Once again, Troy Polamalu coming around the edge, and he gets in on it as well.
2nd and 11. Game tied at 3, early 2nd quarter. Rice back in. And then he flanks to the right. And they send it out to him. And Rice gets to the 25-yard line. 3 receivers to that side. Ziggy Hood, the defensive end, out there to make the tackle, setting up a 3rd and 2.
Joe Flacco is going to remember this blitz. Remember last year, Al, when it was Troy Polamalu coming off the edge, got the strip fumble that turned that game away, and in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of room on the outside. You have to get rid of the ball quickly, and Flacco is definitely quicker with his pace than what he was earlier in his career.
That play helped Polamalu win Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. Now Rice tries to cut it back and gets taken down. Harrison makes the initial contact, and it will be 4th down.
Well, I tell you what, James Harrison is just too much over on that side of the ball. He is bolting inside of Bryant McKinney here and making these plays in the backfield. Actually, on that play, that was Ja Reed, who was a tight end.
Now Cundiff, who missed one from 40, attempts this one from 43 yards. Sam Cook puts it down, and this time Cundiff's kick is good. So he is 2 out of 3. That's the difference in the game at the moment. 6-3 Baltimore. Ravens all about defense going back to 2000. The core 4. Peloti Nada. There are the numbers for week 1 against the Steelers. Suggs with 3 sacks. Lewis a pick and a forced fumble. Reed had 2 interceptions. His only 2 of the season. But the core 4. Lewis and Reed for sure go to the Hall of Fame. Suggs probably. And then Nada's only in his 6th season. But certainly a great start to his career. And then the kick goes through the end zone. So Cundiff, 2/3 of his kickoffs are touchbacks. That defense, they're ranking number 1 in total yards allowed, 263, lowest in the league, and in points they are 2nd.
Yeah, and the Steelers offensive coordinator Bruce Arians said that his top goal against this team is to not let their defense score. Chuck Pagano has done a tremendous job. Ray Lewis describes him as just one of the guys that when we get loud, he gets loud. Allows this defense a lot of input.
Lewis knew him from his days when Pagano was an assistant at the University of Miami. And this is Mendenhall who gets stuffed. And one, that's Corey Redding, one of the emerging young players along that defensive front for the Ravens.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is not a good matchup right here. David Johnson, a tight end, against Corey Redding. Watch him shed that block and hit Rashard Mendenhall. Mendenhall averages about a yard less per carry against this Ravens defense than he does against the rest of the league, and that hit a little reminiscent of the one that Ray Lewis put on him to break his collarbone.
2nd down and 9. And Ben throws, and it's a very short gain for Miller. He gets taken down by Jarrett Johnson. Johnson in his 9th year in the league, and he's an engaging guy. We talked to him last night and asked him about playing on a team with nothing but superstars defensively. Do you get lost in the shuffle? He said, nope. As long as my peers understand what I am, good enough for me.
What he is a crazy man. When you watch him play, the whistle is only part of the equation. He goes to the echo of the whistle on every play.
3rd and 6. Blitz on. Roethlisberger hangs in the pocket and over the middle, and the pass is caught by Antonio Brown. After the 45-yard line, he goes, tackled by Pollard. Ben hanging right in that pocket with all of the frenzy around him, and it's a 20-yard gain.
Well, the good news is if you get the blitz blocked, you get single coverage on the outside. And I tell you, this Antonio Brown has come out of nowhere here lately. He is 16 catches, I think, over the past couple of games, and he has just been one of those guys that has emerged, a kick returner, a guy that is used to playing in the open field, has absolutely no fear.
36 catches on the year, second only to Wallace, who's yet to catch a ball tonight. And then Roethlisberger throws, and of course the minute you mention it, he goes for Wallace, and the pass is incomplete, broken up there by Carrie Williams. Checking with Michelle.
Well, there's no official word from the Steelers yet on Hines Ward, but I can tell you since taking that big hit on their last drive, he has been on the sideline. Nowhere is his helmet, and usually that's an indicator when a guy's not holding his helmet that he's probably not coming back in. He's talked with trainers, he's watching the game intently, but no helmet. Also, Arnaz Battle is questionable with a hamstring, so they are thin at wide receiver, Al.
You bet, Michelle. We mentioned before that we're minus Emmanuel Sanders, who had to attend to his mother's death and funeral and just got back into town, but inactive tonight. Now Ward done probably, and it's 2nd down and 10, and Roethlisberger sensing the pressure, extending the play as he always does, or seemingly so, and the pass incomplete. Antonio Brown and Miller were both in the same area.
You know, Chuck Pagano told his defensive backs, our coverage starts after 3 seconds, because Ben Roethlisberger is going to do this. He's going to buy time. Don't think because you covered somebody for 3, 4, 5 seconds that's going to be enough. Roethlisberger scanning the entire field, probably none better at just buying time down the field, and actually the two receivers knocked each other off the ball.
Roethlisberger doing it for 8 years and takes a timeout here before 3rd and 10. 7 minutes to go in the opening half, with the Ravens leading by 3.
You're going to get some different looks out of the Ravens on defense. This time they line up. Look at this up here. There's a lot of money on that side of the field. Marquise Pouncey's going to go, where are they? 1, 2, 3. Ben's going to say, no, let's go timeout on that.
You know, we've seen a lot of football. I don't think I've ever seen that formation defensively.
You know, and the weird thing about that formation, and here it comes again, now everybody's over on that side. They'll drop the nose tackle back in coverage often from this look.
But this time Lewis, who had been one of the 3 on that side, now drops back to a conventional position. You still got Suggs over there. And now you got a whistle before a 3rd and 10.
Oh, look at Suggs. He's
Third
upset.
And final team timeout. Baltimore. 30-second timeout.
Since 2000, the year that Baltimore won the Super Bowl, these two teams compositely, 1st and 2nd in points allowed, 1st and 2nd in yardage allowed, rush yards allowed, 1st and 2nd. Sacks, Steelers 1st. Well, in that decade, and with takeaways, the Ravens would lead the dominant D's. The difference, the Steelers have won 2 Super Bowls since the Ravens won theirs. The difference has been the offense. Ben Roethlisberger and the offense doing the job through the decade. And of course, this is the hump team.
No doubt.
The hump team for Baltimore to get by. Pittsburgh has knocked them out of the playoffs 3 times in the decade.
And nothing stings this Baltimore Ravens defense more than that knowledge. That gives them sort of the title of toughest team between these two, and the Ravens don't like it. This is their chance for a sweep this year.
3rd and 10. After Baltimore taking a timeout. Now a more conventional defensive look. Webb blitzing, they take care of hand. Roethlisberger steps up and the pass is incomplete. Harry Williams really coming along at corner. The Raven corners playing pretty well of late, knocking it away 4th down.
I tell you, Al, you really hit it right on the head here. Kerry Williams up here is the guy that I think he had 1 start in his career before this year. Even the Steelers were like, who is this guy that keeps making plays? And in reality, they're going to go after the more veteran guy, Ladarius Webb, on the other side.
And they got Webb making the fair catch at the 20, and minor skirmish. Nothing, just like a preliminary bout. This is the main event, though, Baltimore and Pittsburgh. You know, we were talking about the rivalry. It reminds me, and we mentioned it on the pregame show, it's like with New England and Indianapolis, Chris. Through the early part of the decade, Manning couldn't get by Brady, the Colts couldn't get by the Patriots. Patriots win 3 Super Bowls, and then finally, about the middle of the decade, Indianapolis turns the corner. They get by the Patriots, they win a Super Bowl, they get to another one. This is the same thing with Baltimore and Pittsburgh, I think. Baltimore trying to get over that hump from the 23-yard line. Flat Flacco to the outside. Next drop by Torrey Smith.
Well, there's no doubt for all the plays that these young receivers can and will make, they are still rookies, and this is a single one-on-one coverage against the fastest guy on your team. Hits him right between the 8 and the 2, and you drop it. In a game like this, you just simply cannot afford those kinds of plays. And look at the young guys, Anquan Bolden and everybody else.
The one veteran, and they really needed him last week when it looked like they were going to go down to Arizona at home. 2nd and 10, and Rice gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and Polamalu, head and shoulders fame right there.
Boy, I tell you, Vontae Leach thinks he has Polamalu dead to rights here. Lines him up. Polamalu jumps around and makes the hit in the backfield. That's really one of those plays as an offense. You're just trying to stay out of 3rd and 10 so you don't throw the ball, you run the ball, and then Polamalu makes a play like that. He is remarkable.
Flacco ratcheting it up on 3rd down tonight, as they'll try to do here. 3rd and 10 from the 23. Flacco extending the play, but not long enough, and the pass is incomplete before they finally plant him back at the 12-yard line. That was James Harrison knocking him to the ground, and Flacco slow in getting up as he goes off the field on 4th down.
Yeah, Al, it's kind of interesting. They're using Troy Polamalu now in coverage on these tight ends on the outside. The Ravens have been throwing so much to Ed Dixon and Dennis Pitta on the outside. They've made the decision to take him out of the safety position and put him in bump and run on those tight ends.
Sam Cook will do the punting. Antonio Brown is back. It's a 47-yard boot from the 31. Brown down at the 39-yard line with 5.5 to go in the opening half. 6-3 Baltimore.
EDs.
This is the same team. This is the same team. Let's act like it tonight. Let's dominate these boys tonight. Let's hit these boys tonight. Let's make this the most beautiful game they ever played in their life. That's all we gotta do. And from now, what time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. It goes it out. It goes it out. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. It goes it out. Let's hunt these boys. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3. Dominate. Let's go.
You know, he's still the original. I mean, Drew Brees has picked up a little bit of that, of course, through the past few years. Keith Brooking in Dallas, but there's only one Lewis. From the 39-yard line, that pass is incomplete into a lot of traffic. Intended for Mewelde Moore. On the subject of Lewis, now in his 16th season, he's closing in on a record most takeaways by a linebacker in history. And I would figure that's Baltimore and Pittsburgh again. Ray with 49, and he's 4 behind Jack Ham. So he said to Lewis last night, hey, Ray, at the peak of your career, if you were 100%, what are you now? And he said, probably 105. And I'll tell you what, most of the time he looks like it. 2nd and 10 with the ball at the 39. And Roethlisberger checks it down, and underneath that's David Johnson to the 36-yard line. The fullback tight end. Ed Reed makes the tackle. Roethlisberger again with a play extension and finds the man.
Well, they're just going to make a little crossing route over the ball. Ray Lewis sees both guys. Cotchery comes in front of him, but then he ends up coming back to the backside. And Ben, this is what he does. And those pump fakes, they don't look like much, but they're deadly for a zone defense. They move guys away from his receiver, and that's what enables him to make those kinds of plays.
Gain of 25. And what was a 2nd down play? And on 1st down, big hole from Mendenhall and an 8-yard pickup. Ramon Foster pulling the right guard, providing the convoy. 2nd down and 2.
You know, we were talking about Ray Lewis, and what people probably don't understand when they see how emotional he is. He is the Peyton Manning of the defensive side of the ball. This guy probably studies more tape than just about anybody in the league, constantly in communication with his defensive coordinator, but he and Ed Reed make more adjustments just before the snap of the ball probably than any pair in the NFL.
Second and a deuce. Mendenhall trying to back his way into a first down, very close. And appears to have it. They line it up right there.
You know, it's amazing as a running back sometimes in this game how good you feel about a 2-yard run. You know, I mean, you are fighting for every inch of turf out there on this field. Obviously, the score reflects that already, but this is just one of those games that drop passes or a missed interception or a missed opportunity oftentimes decided, and a lot of times it's decided by a defensive score.
Coleman bringing in the change. One link short. Mike Tomlin. Well, I said, all right. Look at our 3rd and inches play here. You got to love Tomlin. He is one of the most quotable guys in the league. Love the way he phrases things. We asked him the other day, were you ever in your high school debate team? He said, yep. He said they didn't know whether to throw me off or make me captain.
But he does get you fired up, doesn't he? I mean, he really does. He's one of those guys that makes you just sort of love the game of football when he's around. He said about Troy Polamalu, he says, you know, he really isn't from here. He's just visiting. And when you watch him play, you do get that feeling sometimes.
3rd and an inch, make it singular. Isaac Redman is the running back, and Ben loves to do that. Roethlisberger, that big frame and strong legs, and very often he'll do that on 3rd down and inches, 4th down and inches, and pick up the first down.
Well, Big Ben, I tell you, last week he looked more like Tom Brady than Tom Brady did. He had 35 or 36 completions in that game, 31 of those 10 yards or less, through only one pass more than 20 yards down the field, and was simply brilliant in knocking off the Patriots.
First down from the 24. Over the middle, tip, and then it winds up as a completed pass at the 8-yard line. Jameel McLean got his hand on it, but that didn't stop Jericho Cotchery, the former Jet who signed in training camp in August, from making the catch.
Well, Jameel McLean, we just talked about missed opportunities. Here was one. This one should have been picked off by McLean. Goes right through his hands. And how happy are the Pittsburgh Steelers with Jericho Cotchery? They basically describe him as Hines Ward 6 years ago.
Especially tonight with Ward now out of the game and Sanders inactive. First and goal. The 7-yard line, flip out to Cotchery, and he picks up 2, maybe 3. Ladarius Webb with the tackle. Here's Michelle.
Hines Ward, at this point, it is official. They're calling it a stinger and saying he is questionable, Al.
Well, they're saying questionable, but as you pointed out, I think they took his helmet away, so
yeah,
no question in my mind.
Well, and the other thing, remember, the officials are now being asked to watch guys that have potential concussions on the field, and they may have said that's enough.
2-minute warning, second and goal, when we come back to Pittsburgh. The halftime show approaching. Mark Sanchez leading the Jets to a win in Buffalo. Aaron Rodgers, another huge day in San Diego. Bob will talk about that dramatic finish in Foxborough. Super Bowl 42 redux as the Giants beat the Patriots. Second down and goal, 2 minutes to the half from the 4. Good protection for Roethlisberger. And then a lot of action at the goal line. Cotchery, the intended receiver in the pass, incomplete. Third down.
Well, plenty of time there. But it was Terrell Suggs coming on the inside stunt here that got the first shot against Ben Roethlisberger. And that has to be the goal. They can't let Ben just keep standing back there the way that he is and moving these defensive backs with his eyes and pump fakes.
3rd and goal. Weldy Moore comes into the game in the backfield flanking Roethlisberger. And then Ben is going to get sacked at the 12-yard line. Paul Kruger, 4 sacks last 3 games for him, is in there. And you get a little jabbing going on, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, I tell you, this Paul Kruger is really starting to make a difference. He's coming off the edge, working against the rookie Marcus Gilbert. But this pass rush move has just been so effective for him lately. I think, 4th sack in the last 3 games. And when you can bring guys off the bench, and the Ravens now with a lot of depth, this Pernell McPhee getting some sacks, Arthur Jones has been good. But really, Kruger has been the guy that's been the difference.
30-yard field goal attempt by Sean Sweezum is just inside the right upright. Well, we figure 6-6 with a minute to go in the half. Follow the National Football League while you're on the go. The NFL's mobile apps for the 2011 season available at NFL.com/mobile. Beautiful shot, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Come out of that Fort Pitt tunnel in from the airport. Spectacular sight as the city just looms in front of you. All lighted up on this Sunday night. They're Steelers and the Ravens, and what's become, like, I think, the best rivalry in the league at the moment. 6-6.
I thought you were going to say like LSU, Alabama. That's about what we've got here.
Pretty much the same type of game. As the kick is fielded by Reed at the 2-yard line, and Reed with another good run back, and he'll get dragged down, but not before he gets to the 35-yard line. Cortez Allen made the tackle. Sunday Night Football brought to you by Windows 7. A great time to be a family. By Toyota. By the new HTC Radar 4G, available now at T-Mobile. And by Disney's The Muppets. In theaters everywhere this Thanksgiving. Ryan Clark visiting Pittsburgh Schiller Middle School, part of the NFL's Play 60 campaign, encouraging children to be active for at least 60 minutes each day.
Well, Suggs, we know him as the cover guy, but you see him there, the best way to cover somebody is to knock him down.
Baltimore with 1 timeout. Flacco is going to get down at the 30-yard line, and that's Harrison. Sooner or later, you know that number 92 is going to get into the offensive backfield.
Yeah, when James Harrison lines up in the middle of the field, it can basically blitz from anywhere. It creates big issues because when you get a late, poor Ray Rice on that one was trying to pick him up and just got run over.
2nd and 15. Flacco will throw into traffic, and that ball is dislodged. Flag is thrown. Ryan Clark whacking the receiver, Ed Dixon, as the flag comes in. Back judge making the call. Coleman with the explanation.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Hit on the defensive receiver, number 25. Defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
In any other era, this is called a great football play. In this era, you make helmet-to-helmet contact. Let's see. There it is. That is a penalty. That is a fine. But Al, I'm telling you, in this game, in talking to these players this week, I'm not sure they care. I think they are just going to play this game the way it used to be played 50 years ago.
Well, that's the second week in a row that Clark has been involved in a play that's going to result in a fine, and that is caught by Anquan Bolden, who steps out of bounds with 16 seconds. So Baltimore trying to get into field goal range, and of course the crowd hates that call.
Yeah, well, they like sort of old-style Pittsburgh Steelers football as well, but you know, for Ryan Clark, that's one of those, sometimes you lose the battle and win the war. As a receiver, you start taking those kinds of shots down the middle. There is a bit of a think about it phase that happens.
Ravens trying to get 10, 15 more yards for Cundiff to make it makeable for him. And over the middle, they still have a timeout. And then the ball is loose, but recaptured by Bolden at the 30-yard line. Bolden is there. Clock is running down, and Baltimore will take its final timeout. I tell you what, they almost let it run all the way out with 2 seconds, and this is going to set up about a 49-yard field goal attempt.
And Bolden's limping a little bit. This was bizarre. Did he ever really have control of that football? I wouldn't be surprised if they take a look at that one.
I think he recaptured it at the end, and again, there are no coaches' challenges in the last 2 minutes. Check it out upstairs, and then they can call for Coleman to come over and take a look at it. Official review. Bolden indicating, hey, you know, I got it back.
Yeah, I would say he probably did there.
I think he did.
Never really control, so he's going to have to make this catch clean. And it's worth a look, I'll say that. Here he's going to, if this ball hits the ground,
yeah,
I think you can make the case that that is not a catch. At no point does he control it, so now he has to not allow that to hit the ground. It sort of rolls out the outside of his arm.
Well, that angle is the most interesting, and
I think that's incomplete.
Definitive. Yeah, because it can touch the ground, but if the ground helps you control the ball through the catch, then that would be incomplete. So if the ruling stands, they'll attempt a 49-yard field goal. If he doesn't, they'll either do a kneel down or a Hail Mary.
Yeah, and what hurt there was they assumed they were in field goal range and they had the catch. So if it gets overturned, they've already run all the time off the clock and would be reduced to kind of a Hail Mary situation.
Yeah, we're gonna originally we thought he had recaptured it, but the ground helps him control the ball, and if that is the case, if that's the way Coleman sees it, which we now think is what Coleman's going to see, they'll reverse the call.
It's a good job by Ike Taylor getting in there and fighting his way through. I don't think there's any question.
Yeah, now there isn't. Who knows?
Of course, as they say, we've been wrong before, big guy.
You think so?
I don't think so. I think that's incomplete. Boy, what a first half this is, though. You know, it's just classic. You can almost just predict what's going to happen. But the one thing is, neither one of these offenses has made the big mistake that so often turns these games around.
Well, if they reverse this, the other thing that's going to happen, they're going to put a few seconds back on the clock. So the Ravens, I guess something like, I don't know, 6, 7 seconds, I'm guessing. So they can still run a play and try to get out of bounds. We'll see. And they still have their
After beginning the play, the receiver never had possession of the ball. The ball hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be second 10 at the 42-yard line. Please reset the clock. 11 seconds. Baltimore will get their timeout back.
So Baltimore has the timeout. Now you've got 11 seconds, so you still have a chance to run a play, 15 yards or so, and then set Cundiff up for a half-ending field goal attempt. 11 seconds, plenty of time with that timeout to even work the middle of the field.
Remember, Cundiff has missed his last 7 field goal attempts of 50 yards or more. Not that he doesn't have the leg strength. He certainly does. We see that on the kickoffs, but he does have that longest streak currently working in the NFL.
Well, we saw that other streak end, 32 straight from inside 40. So from the 42-yard line, stack 3 receivers to the right side, and it looks like the Steelers came across the line, but were they induced is the question.
False start, number 66, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And that is the answer. That's Ben Grubbs.
I can't answer the question of how hard it must be to not flinch when you see the Steelers linebackers jabbing at you, sort of simulating the snap. Tough job for those offensive linemen.
And that's without Farrier and Woodley in the game, too. But you see that 92 and you, Second and 15. That's Rice. Now coming out of the slot. Flacco throws. That's Rice. And Rice will take the ball to the 33, and they'll take a timeout here. 33-yard line. So with 4 seconds, you bring Cundiff in for what will be a 50 or 51-yard field goal attempt.
Baltimore.
So Cundiff hasn't made 7 straight now from 50 or more. Said his range is 53. And of course, in Heinz Field, it's probably the worst place in the league to kick a field goal through the years. But tonight, a near perfect night. Wind shouldn't be a factor.
And the good news is, I'm sorry, Al, that typically going in this direction, it's easier. The open end of the stadium is the other way, which creates so many more issues than this closed end.
10 years in this stadium and only 2 field goals of 50 or more yards, both by Jeff Reed. And make one by Joe Nedley as well. That's 3. Here's a 51-yard attempt by Cundiff. And this one is good. So Cundiff has one streak end and then begins a new one here after 7 straight of 50 or more missing. Bangs one through at the gun to make it 9-6 Baltimore at the half. So I had a halftime show coming right up.
We have.
They don't respect us. Respect is earned. How are we going to take it from
And Rice off to the races, but there's a flag down. Third and goal. It is Rice. Gets those legs going and doesn't get it. And then Ben is going to get sacked at the 12-yard line. Second half beginning. Baltimore leading Pittsburgh 9-6. You can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. Season at the halfway mark. Week 9 of 17. And let's go to Michelle.
Well, I just spoke with Mike Tomlin. He said he is not at all displeased with the way his offense is moving the ball. He said just when we get to the red area, we can't settle for field goals. We got to score touchdowns. Speaking of field goals, I spoke with John Harbaugh. That big early decision to kick the field goal on 4th and goal rather than go for it, he said was twofold. He wanted to get points on the board. He said points are at a premium. He also didn't want to get shut out on that drive and let the crowd into this game early. But here in the second half, he said, we're going to put points on the board. We're going to work their corners.
Thank you, Michelle. A lot to chew on as we start the third quarter. So no touchdowns in the game. 3 field goals off the foot of that man, Cundiff. 2 by Sweezum, 9-6. That is Antonio Brown getting ready to run the kickoff back. And Cundiff. Does 2/3 of the time. Well, it's going to be a touchback, and it is going to be a touchback because Redmond says to Brown, whoa. AFC North standing right now, up to the minute. Cincinnati, a winner today at Tennessee, 6-2 at the halfway mark. Pittsburgh 6-2. They'll either be 7-2, 6-3 after this game. Baltimore would go to 6-2, obviously, with a win. Cleveland in last place at 3-5. So if Baltimore wins this game, you're going to get 3 of the 4 teams at the halfway mark of the season with 6 wins.
And I think coming into this game, it was 4 of the top 5 defenses in the NFL, all out of that AFC North.
Now the Steelers start this drive from the 20. Roethlisberger 7 of 15 for 115 yards. And for Mendenhall, this is carry number 6. For a total of 21 yards now.
Well, for me, one of the stories of the first half has been Terrell Suggs. It just really has not been much of a factor. And let's give some credit to Max Starks doing a good job. Has he had help? Absolutely. He's had backs chipping over there, tight ends staying in and help. but Suggs has been a game wrecker over the years for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and so far, not so much.
Starks was overweight, left camp, got back into shape. They re-signed him, and now Mendenhall works his way to a spot about a yard short of the first down. Starks been around for a while, third-round pick in 04 out of Florida, and he's huge. 6'8", and I don't know what he weighs right now. Chris, about 340, 345, but he'd gotten to the point where he was out of shape and overweight, and then worked very hard to get back. And Ben said, "You got to get him back. You got to sign him." Mendenhall probing that left side of the line.
Yeah, it was Ben Roethlisberger who was really the biggest proponent of Max Starks on the outside. They cut him before the season even started in camp, and all of a sudden he was gone. Ben says, "You know, Max has lost 30 pounds, and Tomlin said, call me when he's lost 40. Ultimately he did, and he got his job back, and it was really right on time with all the injuries that they had at the tackle position.
Steelers going no huddle, making sure the Raven defense can't change up. So Ben going no huddle, but not hurry up.
Single coverage.
And that's tipped at the line of scrimmage. It's Terrence Cody, number 62.
Now we're really seeing, I don't know, maybe a little more brave coverage out of the Ravens than what I've seen in the past. It's like they've got a newfound faith in these cornerbacks on the outside. Of course, Ed Reed, great at covering up as well, but a lot of just single coverage. And at some point, you've got to think that they're going to take a shot with Mike Wallace, who's one of the best big play receivers in the game.
They've held him in check tonight. Wallace hasn't caught a ball, and I think he's only been targeted one time. Second down and 10. And Roethlisberger gets it away before he gets hit. And that's the tight end, Heath Miller, to the chorus of Heath. Stopped by Pollard, first down.
I'll tell you, Max Starks, if the Steelers were to come back and win this game, he would have to be one of the candidates for MVP so far. No help on that one on Suggs, and you're going to give Ben Roethlisberger that much time, he's going to find somebody.
169.
Steelers haven't huddled on this drive. Redmond is the running back. Roethlisberger stepping up, feeling the pressure. Catch made. Brown spinning around, spinning away, and out of bounds finally at the 33-yard line. Forced out by Carey Williams.
No doubt about it, Ben Roethlisberger wanted to take a shot at Mike Wallace. The top of the screen, Ladarius Webb was there, so he pulls it down as Ben can do, and here Starks working in the protection again, and then it was just that extra time that allowed Roethlisberger ultimately to make the play.
Ball to 33. Hands it off to Redmond around the left side. You know, we've been watching Roethlisberger do this for years, and if there's a moment in time in his career, and so many great plays, so many big plays, but nothing bigger than the Santonio Holmes catch in the waning seconds of the Super Bowl to beat Arizona after the 08 season. When you think about it, that was Holmes was Ben's fourth option on that play. Fourth. Spectacular catch to win the Super Bowl.
The other thing is when Ben gets in the no huddle, he's calling his own plays at this point. Ray Lewis matching wits with just Ben at this one.
2nd and 6. To the outside, and that's caught by Wallace. So he makes his first catch, and well, now he and Webb are going to have a little debate of sorts.
Try and hurry up here, but you're going to end up with Wallace on the outside with no help, and when you don't get one of the Ravens safeties over the top, you see how much of a cushion they have to give Mike Wallace, and Ben really wanted to work the underneath coverages to Wallace for that reason.
First catch of the night for the guy who leads the team in receptions. Now from the 14. Oh, and he's picked off in the flat, and that is Suggs. So such a great job being done on Suggs tonight, and then all of a sudden this great drive going no huddle. not allowing the Ravens to change that defense, and then out in the flat is Suggs with the interception.
Just so many game-changing plays in this series by Suggs, and he got it again.
Sooner or later. Terrell Suggs, who just made that play to stuff that Pittsburgh drive as the Steelers have roared down the field in the red zone, intercepts the pass, and then Flacco starts from the 29-yard line to begin with Rice. Jitterbugging out to the 32-yard line, and back we go to the pick.
You know, it's just hard to understand what Roethlisberger really saw in this play. Here's Suggs, and they're going to release Heath Miller out here. But Roethlisberger really, I don't know if he was trying to disguise it or what, was just looking to his left almost throughout and never really checked that side. I'm sure he didn't want to try and tip it off, but with Suggs in the position that he was in, you just had to assume that you were in a bit of danger on that one.
Yep.
Every time you're around that guy.
Ready for your close-up. 2nd and 7. To the outside, it's caught by Smith. Well, Suggs is a budding filmmaker, so he always knows where the camera is.
That would be a tough director to work for.
It would be, right.
Sure, whatever you want me to do, man.
What do you want, take 47? No problem.
Yeah, no problem. Even for you, he might even get you to do something.
3rd down and 5 from the 34.
Harrison up the gut one more time. Watch out.
And that's enough of the first down with forward progress to Dennis Pitta, the tight end. Out to the 40, moves the chains.
One of the things about altering the snap count is you get to see some of this movement in here. It gives his offensive line a chance to sort of filter through. Both of these teams, probably the toughest part about playing these defenses is understanding who the offensive linemen are supposed to block and who the backs are supposed to block. The snap count really helped Joe Flacco there.
From the 40, dumps it off to Rice underneath, and Rice out to the 46-yard line. Ray Rice, talking about Sean McCoy last week, a guy who now needs to be thought of as one of the very best in the league, and you know, Rice is pretty much in that category too.
Yeah, leading rusher, just one catch away from being the leading receiver coming into this game. I talked to Dick LeBeau, the great defensive coordinator, and he said, let me tell you something. Our game plan begins and ends with this guy right here. We cannot let Rice beat us.
We stopped him on the ground tonight, only 29 yards. He's caught 4 balls to 32. It's 2nd down and 3 to Smith on the outside. And Smith gets taken down right there by William Gay.
A lot of balls being thrown to Smith because Ike Taylor's doing such a good job on Anquan Bolden on the other side. Bolden almost single-handedly won the game for the Ravens last week. But he is in a battle out there with the best cover guy the Steelers have to offer. Ike Taylor brought back this year, and it was a little questionable for a while, but not in my mind. He was simply too good to let walk out of here.
3rd and 3. Good protection. Pass caught on the outside and close to a first down. That's Pitta again. And let's see where they spot the ball. They're going to spot it at the 49 of Pittsburgh, and that is a first down.
One of the really difficult parts of this bunch formation is how do you play man coverage back here? You know everybody's going to crisscross, and so it gives you just enough space to run your route in those short 3rd and 4 kind of plays and pick up the first down.
Which they do in that situation. Rice comes out now. They've got Ricky Williams back in the game, and the Heisman Trophy winner with a helmet going off the head of Marshall Yanda, the guard. Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, we're starting to get everything going now, aren't we? We're getting Vontae Leach, the fullback. This is sort of old-fashioned. Marshall Yanda getting his hat knocked off, and You know, we talked about this a little bit in the open, Al. Sometimes I wonder if these teams even care what the scoreboard says. It's more a battle of who whipped who at the end of the day, and these guys know it. They know who's winning the physical fight.
Going on for years. 2nd down and 9. To the outside and diving for it and making the grab is Ed Dixon. Dixon and Pitt are the 2 tight ends. Talked earlier about the fact that Flacco throws to his running backs and wide and tight ends 62% of the time.
Let's see, did he make this catch?
Well, he gets the arm underneath it, then the ball starts to roll around.
The hard part is, do you want to risk a challenge over that when you still have a 3rd down?
Exactly. 3rd and 3, they will risk it here. In a game this tight, on a play like that, Tomlin gets the word from up high that you have a good chance to win this, which we think he does, because again, the ground helps him control the football.
Pittsburgh is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
Similar to that last call we saw at the end of the 1st half, where the ground helps him control the football. Tomlin, a lot of success on challenges. This is very close. Again, Coleman's going to look at this. Does the ground help him control the football?
Not on the initial hit, but I think this one right there is the question.
Controlled all the way through the catch.
I think he has it there, but that one is in doubt. The question is, did it come loose? It can hit the ground, but if it is perceived to have come loose, that's a different story.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Pittsburgh will be charged with their 1st timeout.
Well, we're out of challenges.
Yeah, I tell you, and you know, that timeout in a game like this comes back to haunt. I can remember Bill Parcells talking about, don't you guys waste one of my timeouts, especially in the 2nd half. So we'll see.
Yeah, I can't blame Tomlin for that, though. I think there was enough there, and really we thought it was going to be overturned. And it would have made it 3rd and 9 instead of 3rd down and 3. So Pittsburgh down to 2 timeouts over the last 20 minutes of the game. And it's 3rd and 3 from the 42-yard line. And he floats it to Rice. And Rice makes the catch and goes out of bounds. You had Kiesel backing up, covering, and he fell down. And a 1st down for the Ravens.
Yeah, tough assignment right here. They're going to end up with Rice coming out here. Kiesel's going to try and go with him because they bring the slot blitz. Great job by Joe Flacco of recognition. Took advantage of the exotic blitz, and Brett Kiesel going out in coverage. That one's not going to happen if you can execute.
31-yard line. Now you got Rice and the fullback Leach comes back into the game to provide leverage, and Rice finds a little bit of room through the middle to the 27-yard line, a gain of 4, setting up 2nd down and 6.
Well, now the Ravens starting to get a little something going with their running game. We talked about it before, but this is a team, and this is a physical type of game that typically you don't see great runs in the 1st half, but as the defense begins to wear down, and remember the Steelers fairly thin on the defensive side, these runs may start working a little better.
2nd and 6. Baltimore has yet to rush for a 1st down. Flacco going deep in the pass, incomplete. Intended for Bolden, and then a flag is thrown at the 4.
Ike Taylor, just as Bolden was giving a little push off himself, grabbed hold of Bolden, and Ike Taylor doesn't like it at all, but I saw it.
Pass interference, number 24. Defense. Ball being placed at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
And once again, a big pass interference call helping the Ravens. Let's see, just as Bolden gave him a little nudge off.
Grabs the shirt, grabs the wrist.
Yeah, he did. I think sometimes these two teams would like to play without officials.
Cage match. First and goal, they spotted at the 4. There's a 23-yard penalty. First and goal. Ravens looking for the first touchdown of the game. Way out of the end zone. Second and goal. Kind of a mock cheer here. Nothing was called. Flacco does 7 of 8 on this drive.
Well, they've been trying these play-action passes. I tell you, these two teams who take such great pride in their physical play, it's amazing when they get the ball inside the 5-yard line. It's been a pass almost every time. I mean, you just can't run the football on these two teams, and basically these offensive coordinators are acknowledging that.
Flacco struggling all season in the red zone. So he puts it on the ground and gives it to Rice, and Rice chugs ahead for the touchdown. He got in behind the fullback Vontae Leach, and that's one of the reasons they got Leach from Houston, to provide that leverage, to provide the convoy, and Ray Rice able to follow him into the end zone.
Well, Timmons read it perfectly, just shot the gap, but Vontae Leach, the fullback, picks him off, and Ray Rice with a brilliant little jump cut to get out of the hole. Larry Foote may have overrun that one just a bit, and this crowd not happy at all with that penalty on Ike Taylor.
Billy Cundiff for the extra point. The game's first touchdown belongs to the Ravens, who with 4:27 remaining now in the third quarter, thanks to Suggs, that pick ending Pittsburgh's drive, and off they go to the end zone. 16-6 Ravens.
Get down. Okay, guys, shake hands.
Sunday Night Football from Pittsburgh being brought to you by SAP. The best run better with SAP. By Olive Garden. When you're here, your family. By Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. And by Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, only on PlayStation. Friday night, Mount Lebanon defeating Woodland Hills by 7. First round Pennsylvania High School playoffs. It's Jason Taylor's alma mater. Steve Bruston, former Arizona receiver, now in Kansas City. Rob Gronkowski, New England, all going to school at Woodland Hills. And Cundiff bangs this one through the end zone, and so Roethlisberger will go to work from the 20-yard line with the Steelers down by 10. Off to the Meadowlands we go next Sunday night. Sunday Night Football. The Patriots and the Jets now locked in the AFC East. Football night starts at 7 o'clock Eastern from MetLife Stadium. Tom Brady today as the Giants came from behind and knocked off New England 24-20 in a thriller, and the Jets got things rolling in Buffalo. Good defense, in particular, 27-11. So that's the game. Pats-Jets a week from tonight. Now Pittsburgh starts from the 20. Mendenhall gets hit in the backfield and then spins away and is close to a first down. Breaks out of a Suggs tackle. And it will be as Walt Coleman lines it up. First down.
Well, Suggs with the game changer to this point. Misses that tackle in the backfield. But he didn't miss that interception, and that's really the difference in this game. If they just get a field goal out of that last drive, it's 9-9, and it's just business as usual between these two teams.
Steelers go no huddle again. A big hole from Mendenhall. So a 10-yard gain, but a flag here, followed by an 8-yard gain. But it's coming back.
Holding, number 78. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Max Starks, the left tackle.
Well, Max Starks out there slugging away, and now you get in one of those situations. But for Max Starks, he's shaking his head, and I've got to say, I was watching that area of the field, didn't see a lot. Maybe I missed it.
Yeah, well, you saw Tomlin's reaction. He looked at the replay up on the big screen. He had that same reaction. He said, "What?" First and 20 from the 20-yard line. And now it's going to be first down and 25.
False start, number 17, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Wallace.
Well, they're going backwards right now in this drive. Let's take a look at Starks right there on the end of the. No, he's down. He hooks McLean's arm, but not really a grab and a hold. Almost like it was sort of an accidentally was missing him. I don't know. Close call, tough call in a situation like that.
First down 25. Four-man run. Pass caught. 22-yard line. Mike Wallace making the catch. Tackled by Webb and make it second down and let's call it 17.
One of the problems with getting behind this Ravens defense is they can be a little bit more conservative now. You can see the coverage back here. So now the threat of a Mike Wallace going by you is much less because of the fact those safeties are able to play a step or two deeper. So now they're going to force you to sort of go the hard way here. They've been playing that really since they took the lead.
Second down and 17 from the 23. And Roethlisberger bouncing one incomplete. Third down intended for Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown slipped on the play, and you talked about it earlier. This field is eaten up. They will completely resod it a little bit later after I think this state high school playoffs. But sometimes coming in and out of these cuts, you would think the Steelers would have the advantage on this field, but there are some pretty thin spots out there.
A lot of issues in regard to this playing surface over the years. Third down and 17. Blitz coming, and Roethlisberger steps away and then throws, and at the 43-yard line, it is caught by Brown.
If he caught that ball, that is simply remarkable.
And the Steelers are going to race up to the line. They don't want a challenge here.
What a catch.
He did catch it. Tremendous.
What a catch. That was amazing.
And Roethlisberger, just a little slide step to get away from the pressure. So the
crowd wants him to hurry up, right. But he's like, it's all right.
Yeah, it's okay.
We see the replay. We're okay.
Not a problem. A minute and a half to go in the period. That was a 3rd and 17. Now first down from the 44, and Roethlisberger almost pump fakes, and that pass is incomplete. Intended for Miller. You had Lewis and Williams with the coverage. 2nd and 10.
You know, typically Ed Reed sort of picks a side and will lean to one side of the field or another, but Ed is right back here in the middle of the field, which puts tremendous pressure on the corners on the outside. There has been sort of a renewed confidence, if you will, in these two corners, and plus they're just now getting Jimmy Smith, their #1 draft pick, into the mix. So when these corners can play like that, allows the Ravens to do a lot more with games inside.
Webb and Williams. 2nd down and 10. Lewis blitzes, and they pick him up, and then Roethlisberger throws to the outside. Miller breaks away from a tackle, breaks away from another one, and Heath Miller to the 26-yard line.
Well, we told you Rashard Mendenhall one time had his collarbone broken by Ray Lewis. A little revenge on that one, and when the blitz fails, you get the single coverage. Bernard Pollard, certainly not the best of the cover guys in this secondary, a big hitter, but when they can get that matchup with a little time, the Steelers are going to win.
To the 26-yard line, first down.
Empty backfield with Mendenhall flank out in the slot to the top.
Last play good for 30 yards. Roethlisberger stepping up. Miller again. And the security blanket takes it to the 15-yard line.
Ben Roethlisberger's threat of the run. Watch Ray Lewis here react to that. Drop coverage, and that allowed Heath Miller to pick up that first down.
Waning seconds of the quarter. And Ben gets the snap off before the gun, and Mendenhall will take the ball to the 9-yard line, and that will take us to the fourth quarter. So another good Steeler drive, 2 of them here in the third quarter. Baltimore 16, Pittsburgh 6 after 3. Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. To the fourth quarter we go. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya, Pittsburgh. Baltimore on top by 10. Second down and 5 for the Steelers at the 9-yard line of the Ravens. Wallace split wide to the left. Mendenhall, the running back. Fake to Mendenhall. Off the play fake. Roethlisberger throws that one away. Patry in the back of the end zone. Roethlisberger looks for a flag on pass interference. Doesn't get it. Third down.
I'll tell you, one of the untold stories of this game has been the coverage of these cornerbacks and the job they're doing. It's not that the play action is not working. Linebackers are stepping up, but there just hasn't been anybody open in the back of the end zone. That time, Ladarius Webb just pushed Patry out of the back of the end zone. Wouldn't have been eligible to make that catch anyway.
Third and 5. Lewis calls the defense. Roethlisberger in trouble, stepping away. First down, and then loses the ball. But when did he lose it? They rule it a touchdown. Before Ben lost the ball, they said he crossed the goal line. Of course, reviewed upstairs, as are all scoring plays for the moment. Pittsburgh in the end zone.
Looks like his knee may have hit down just before the goal line. It's close. There was contact.
Oh yeah,
right
there. Knee down, ball not in.
Yeah, and in this game, some games you say, "Oh, big deal."
Previous play is under review.
Going to be just short.
Just short as they take a look. Official review, scoring play. We think the ball's going to come out just outside the goal line. Roethlisberger's knee was down. Watch this. His knee will go down. He's contacted. There's contacted as Reed flies by. Iambadejio comes in. And then right there, that is the end of the play. So even though he fumbled at the end, he'd already been contacted. His knee was down. The ball will come out to about the 6-inch line. And that'll be the end result of this. Unless we're out of our minds, but
after reviewing the play, the runner's right knee was down with the ball at the half-a-yard line. It'll be first and goal at the half-a-yard line.
Well, and Baltimore was unable to score a touchdown from this same situation. Let's see how the Pittsburgh Steelers play it. Pittsburgh Steelers fans sometimes get uncomfortable with the fact that they are not always a power football team. I would be stunned if they don't play power football for 3 and probably 4 downs at this point.
Trey Essex comes in as an extra tight end. This is Pittsburgh's 6th possession tonight. 4th time they've been in the red zone, but they've yet to get into the end zone. Trying to make it a 3-point game. Mendenhall with David Johnson as the fullback. And then they give it to Mendenhall, and then he goes for the touchdown. Two good drives for the Steelers of this half. The first ended with a Suggs pick, but this time they take it all the way in.
You basically have to guess on the goal line, and they slant inside. Great call here by Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator, anticipating that. Really no way they could have stopped the ball with that hard slant on.
80 yards, 11 plays. They got 6 first downs on that drive. And Sweezum didn't make it 16-13. Ravens up by 3 with 14:32 left left to go in Pittsburgh. Beginning Wednesday, the Australian Open golf tournament live on the Golf Channel. Tiger Woods is entered in that. The President's Cup. Woods part of that team beginning the 16th of November on the Golf Channel and NBC. Sweezum sends it into the end zone, and it will be down there by David Reed.
Well, welcome back, James Harrison, one of the more dominant players in the NFL. You can see the incredible torque and angles that he creates as he tries to come around the edge. Not a tall guy anyway, and for some of these offensive tackles, 6'7", 6'8", an issue, but maybe more of an issue is his rush inside when they get in those nickel situations, when he gets a chance to go one-on-one against a back, or in this case, a tight end, Dennis Pitta.
Steelers thrilled to have him back, especially with Woodley out and Farrier out tonight, missing 2 starters. So the crowd alive. Baltimore has it at the 20-yard line. And Flacco, speaking of Harrison, advisor being worn because of the broken orbital bone a month ago.
This time they try and use 2 backs to block James Harrison. Initial success, ultimate failure as Joe Flacco had nowhere to go with the ball down the field. But this is when you start to look for the big-time players, the James Harrisons, the Troy Polamalos, the Ed Reeds, the Ray Lewises, and we're seeing it.
The ground on 2nd and 12, and not very far. Foot takes care of Rice. 3rd and long coming up.
Okay, that's some play by Larry Foote right there, who's had to take over the play calling on the defensive side. Took on Vontae Leach, the lead fullback here, and still able to get off. Vontae Leach, one of the best blocking fullbacks that there is. I think that's him. Maybe the guy right behind him here. Let me see. Nope, that was Foote right there. Comes off, makes the play, and now we got it going in Pittsburgh.
The Baltimore defense does not need a 3 and out. They were on the field a long time on that last drive and could be back on the field very shortly. 3rd and 10. Flacco hit as he throws, and it's caught for a first down by Torrey Smith. Contact made as Flacco got it away. James Harrison came close to getting the sack. Instead, it's a first down for the Ravens, a big one.
Yeah, a little pick play working out here, back and cross and then back under. Tough play for Cortez Allen, the rookie, to try and come up with a play there. The whole key, though, was Flacco had to hold this ball, barely able to get it off, and that was a huge play by Joe Flacco.
With Harrison having him in his grasp. The ball is at the 34-yard line. Play fake for Rice. And then it goes to Leach, the fullback, and gets smacked at the 39-yard line.
Oh my gosh, it is. They are getting it going right now. I think that was Ryan Clark who came up on about a 260-pound fullback. Clark, the leading tackler on this team, and just a violent hitter. We saw a little bit of it earlier. Just listen.
If audio had an exclamation point, that was it. Ricky Williams is the running back. 2nd and 5.
Polamalu up on the end of the line of scrimmage.
Williams picks up the first down. Ricky Williams out to the 48-yard line. Tackled there by Stevenson Sylvester. Lewis, well, can't tell by that expression, but he loves that.
Yeah. This is intensity time. Marshall Yonda that time, who I think is the best of these offensive linemen for the Baltimore Ravens, got out with the lead block, and this guy was cutting Casey Hampton, but he's more than that. He's a Pro Bowl player. The more you watch him, the more you know he is the best of what they have here.
Williams again. Ricky over the 50 into Steeler territory, gain of 3. 2nd down and 7, under 11 minutes now in regulation.
You know, Al, you get so used to watching a style of defense over the years, and Dick LeBeau's defense has always brought so much pressure and attacks you in so many different ways. Turnovers just come for this defense, and yet this season it's just remarkable. They just have not been able to create any, and usually this game will turn on a turnover.
As it did last year when Polamalu made the play of the game. Only 3 turnovers in 8+ games. Rice to the 47. Now every 3rd down becomes a big one, so you got a big 3rd down and 5.
Coming with a very traditional blitz that time against Joe Flacco, who's really done a heck of a job on 3rd down tonight. These two teams talked about they thought 3rd down would decide the game, and here we go again. But give Flacco credit. He has stood tall in there tonight. Again, playing almost like he did the last time against this team.
3rd and 5. Smith wide left, Bolden wide to the right out of the shotgun for Flacco. And he sends Rice into the slot. 4-man rush. Pass over the middle is caught by Bolden. That's a 1st down. Bolden gets position that time on Taylor. And again, another 3rd down conversion. And Chris, you talked about it. They talked about 3rd down, how important it is. That's 12 out of 16 for the Ravens, which is tremendous.
Yeah, and the Steelers got confused on that one. Lawrence Timmons went with the motion. 2 guys covered the motion here this way and ended up with a huge void underneath to the other side, which Flacco saw and took advantage of. Flacco looks very calm tonight, doesn't he? Very much under control.
Over 200 yards passing now. Back to the ground they go to Rice to the 36-yard line, chewing up some clock as well. A 5.5-minute drive at this point, started back at their own 20-yard line, and the next play will be the 10th. Second down, 8. That defense, as we mentioned, they were in jeopardy of coming back onto the field after a 3 and out, but instead that big early 3rd down conversion. Now a long drive to the 6-minute mark on this drive. 2nd and 8. Williams gets bumped at the line of scrimmage and stopped after a minimal gain by Timmons. 3rd down. Another coming up.
Tell you what, Larry Foote is doing some backside run-throughs, anticipating what's happening here. And this is what great linebackers will do. They will see the play. Fullback gets the front side backer, and nobody can pick him up on the backside. I thought it was one of the better games I've seen him play last week against New England.
Under 8 minutes. 3 receivers to the left. Come out of that formation and then go back into it. Flacco on 3rd and 8. Under pressure. Loses the ball. Picked up by the Steelers. And that's the way that drive ends as William Gay recovers it on the sack fumble.
Guess who?
Oh yeah, 92. Always a good guess. Harrison. Harrison creates it. Gay gets it. Steelers have the ball. Down by 3. Gay recovers and Harrison gets the sack. That's his 3rd of the night.
Great play by William Gay as well. Here's Harrison coming around the edge. Wasn't there initially, but Joe Flacco had to pull the ball down. William Gay jumped the route underneath to his side and made Flacco hesitate. There's Gay. Watch him on the outside against Torrey Smith. Jump that route, and that's what made Flacco pull the ball down and create the turnover.
And give Kiesel a little credit, forcing Flacco to step to his right and right into the path of Harrison. Now Roethlisberger stepping away, throws over the middle, caught at the 42-yard line by Antonio Brown for a 1st down.
I tell you, I love these young receivers for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are going to be set for a long time. Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, Mike Wallace. This kid's a special teams player. Returns punts, returns kickoffs. And on the outside, Mike Wallace completely barbecues Kerry Williams, but does not get the ball in that instance.
Steelers have down, no huddle, the whole second half. From the 43-yard line. With 7 minutes to go. Mendenhall. Nothing. And then some action after the play with no flag.
The Steelers really have no choice against the coverage the Ravens are showing them. They've got all these guys back here, so you only have 7 up here. You have to be able to run the football against that, but you can't against Ray Lewis and company, and that really has been a significant part of this game. They can play cautiously in the secondary and still stop the run.
Second down and 10. Roethlisberger was pointing to Lewis. Lewis comes on a blitz, passes away. Cotchery has it to the 30-yard line. Ball may have been tipped.
No question about it. Jarrett Johnson came completely free right here, tipped the ball, and luckily for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it falls right into the arms of Jericho Cotchery, and this drive is still alive. Boy, this is some game. This is some series between these teams.
First down, ball to the 30-yard line, inside handoff, Mendenhall. Near the 5 to the 25-yard line with 5.5 to go. And you got a Raven who's down here. So Brendan Iambadejo.
And the crowd thinks that this may be intentional to try and slow down this no-huddle offense.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Tonight's aerial coverage from Pittsburgh being brought to you by Geico. Downtown Pittsburgh, PA. Baltimore and Pittsburgh figured to be a great one. It's tight. It's a 3-point game. 5:20 to go. Iambadejo off the field under his own power. Second down and 5 now for the Steelers from the 25. Roethlisberger hitting Brown. Oh, what a shot he takes, and they say no completion. Incomplete. Hit by McLean. Third down.
There is going to be nobody volunteering for these crossing routes anytime soon. This time, Jameel McLean is going to polish this one off. Earlier, it was Ray Lewis knocking Hines Ward out of the game. I'll tell you what, this is not for the faint of heart out here.
And Webb ripped it out as he went to the ground. 3rd and 5 from the 25. Roldy Moore in the backfield with Roethlisberger. Off he goes to the slot. Roethlisberger breaking away, throwing for the end zone. Wallace, touchdown.
Ben was not even throwing it to Michael Wallace.
Oh, he had Roldy Moore down there.
It was Antonio Brown, who really was wide open, made a secondary move right in the back. I think he sees Brown right there, and Wallace came across and stole it from him. You see Antonio Brown shuffling back, coming back to the football, and most surprised of all probably was Ben Roethlisberger.
Breaking away from the pocket as he's done so brilliantly through the years. Squeeze him for the point after. And for the first time tonight, took him 55 minutes and 1 second, but the Steelers are on top. 20-16. Pittsburgh up for the first time in the game. Squeeze him. Sends it 4 yards into the end zone. David Reed. A couple of good run backs tonight. This time he was stopped at the 23-yard line. Back we go to the touchdown.
Ravens defensive coordinator Chuck Pagano said, for our secondary, coverage starts at 3 seconds because Ben is going to do this. You have to stay on. You have to stay on. Unfortunately, 6.17 seconds too long for Kerry Williams to keep up with the speedster Mike Wallace.
It's like playing in the street, isn't it? Street football.
It really is. And, you know, people just don't talk about it enough. Ben's ability to keep those plays alive with the speed he has on the outside is just so tough to defend.
Year after year from the 23-yard line. The Ravens begin this drive with Flacco looking to throw, and then underneath, and that's incomplete. Wasn't going to go anywhere anyway. Kiesel all over Rice. Second down.
Brett Kiesel basically just tackled Ray Rice coming out of the backfield. They are not going to let Rice beat them in this situation. Coming out right here, watch Brett Kiesel come off and just not let him go. He's going to tackle him coming out. Maybe even held him a little bit.
Smith left, Golden right. Pitta out of the slot to the left. There's Harrison. Almost getting to him again. Wow. Harrison just on fire in the second half.
He is looking like Superman out there. The time off has done him good. The heck with trying to run through the blocker. He's going to jump over the blocker. And you don't think Joe Flacco sees that coming? You begin to have visions of number 92. Superstars take over in big moments, and Ray Rice basically got out of the way that time.
He says, I'm not going to play the role of a high hurdle here. Third down and 10. Flacco buys time, and that pass is incomplete at the 40-yard line. Tried to get it to Pitta. Ryan Mundy covering on the play, and that is a very fast 3-and-out.
That is just a big play by Ryan Mundy, because Joe Flacco that time looked like Ben Roethlisberger, bought that extra time, and usually when that happens, you end up with a big play down the field, but Pitta did not come back to the ball, and it cost him.
Sam Cook to do the punting. Brown is back from the 33 to the ground at the 46-yard line with 4:30 left. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by the Droid Razor. Thin is no longer frail, only at Verizon. By BMW, the ultimate driving machine. By Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. And by GE Imagination at Work. Terrible towels and getting a workout tonight. James Harrison has given Flacco and the Raven offense a workout tonight. 3 sacks for him after missing a month. Ray Lewis now, and that defense, they have to stiffen because Pittsburgh can start thinking about the clock here. Baltimore has all of its timeouts. From the 46. Then he'll go to the air on first down, and then it's dropped by Johnson. Second down.
That hurts.
Yeah, it helps Baltimore on 2 levels. I mean, obviously the drop pass, and it stops the clock after only 6 seconds.
You know, when you throw the ball in that situation on first down, you take that high percentage throw because you do not want the incomplete pass. And those drops, boy, they are painful. And the Ravens here with all 3 timeouts, so plenty of time, but they're enjoying looking at that clock stuck on 4:24.
With 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning, so 4 stoppages in front of them. Second down and 10 from the 46. And we'll stop Mendenhall here at the 47-yard line. Nata makes the tackle. And it'll make it 3rd and 9.
And here it comes, because when you end up in a 3rd and 9 with this defense, you can get anything. The big guys go out, the pass rushers come in, and now Ben Roethlisberger can't make one of those mistakes.
Brown left, Wallace to the right, Cottree slot right. 3rd and 9.
There's that spread look defensively again.
Ooh, and then you've got action up front. That's Corey Redding coming across the line.
Boy, oh boy, what a great job by Roethlisberger.
Number 93, defense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
3rd and 4 now.
Boy, I tell you, it's tough to get a veteran in that situation, but he got Corey Redding with this.
Pouncey can laugh because he's fine, and they pick up 5 big yards.
Completely different play call situation now. 3rd and 4 instead of 3rd and 9.
Roethlisberger over the middle, caught by Cotchery, 1st down. Huge.
Absolutely, and Al, it completely changed. They had an exotic blitz on before. Now, because of this, they've got to go bump and run all the way across the board in a pretty easy pitch and catch. That offsides call was huge. He really got his pick. He managed to move everybody with that pump fake, comes backside. And welcome to Pittsburgh, Jericho Cotchery.
And now he'll bleed the play clock and force Baltimore to use its timeouts on the front side of the 2-minute warning, and they're almost in field goal range. From the 34. Here's Redmond. He's been a very efficient and effective runner, and they'll stack him up for a loss of a couple. Albert McClellan led the charge that time, but the clock ticking down, and now it's stopped by a Baltimore timeout with 2:47.
Timeout. Baltimore, 30-second timeout.
New series on NBC. It's Friday night's #1 show. It's called Grimm. And you'll see this Friday at 10 Eastern and Pacific and 9 Central and Mountain Time right here on NBC.
I'll tell you, the Ravens, for all the talk of their great defense, they blew a big lead, 21-7, I believe, at the half in the playoff game last year, and they had a comfortable margin in this one and just unable to finish it off, at least to this point.
So if Pittsburgh holds on, they will have split the season series, so that won't be a tie-break factor at the end of the day. Pittsburgh would go to 7-2, and Baltimore would go to 5-3. And that would be a game-and-a-half lead. 3 straight games with 300 or more passing yards. What's different about that number in the past couple of years is quarterbacks used to normally lose when they threw for 300 yards because they were playing catch-up. Now they normally win, as he did last week, and as he did the week before, and as he's doing tonight. 2nd and 13. Dumps it underneath to Redmond. And there is Nada making the tackle at the 31-yard line, and the Ravens will take another timeout. It'll be 3rd down and 6 with 2:37. Best analysis about the NFL and its players with Mike Florio at Pro Football Talk, NBCSports.com. And this November, join the NFL Salute the Service campaign to honor our nation's veterans and active servicemen and women. Learn more at NFL.com/salute.
Well, this time they tried that sprint out to the right side again, and then Brown going all the way across the field. The Ravens were there, though, and Ben, not wanting to take a chance, just checked it down. And here we go again. I can't imagine not kicking the field goal in this situation. So pretty much with the timeouts the way that they are, this is the ball game.
Well, if you don't get a yard here, you'd be looking at a 47-yard field goal in a place where it's tough to kick a 47-yard field goal.
Into that open-ended side.
And if you missed it, the Ravens would get the ball at about the 37. First things first. Here's the play, 3rd and 5.
Hey, 52. Hey, 31.
31 basically the responsibility of the offensive lineman now.
To the outside and incomplete, and that time Moore turned around late, and that's the perfect situation to occur without a yard being gained, with the clock stopped. So they have saved their timeout, plus they get one of the 2-minute warning with 2:34 at 4th down and 5. Now Sweezum and his grouper coming in.
You know, anything really is possible here because, you know, we've seen plays where you snap it to the field goal kicker and he punts it down the field. You've got your great defense. A long field goal, the Ravens are going to get some great field position if he misses, and this is tough this way.
Remember, Capanos just signed, so he takes upon his job as not only the punter but the holder. The malfunctioning play clock.
Delay of the game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Well, not really. I mean, malfunctioning offense.
Oh, that is big. Now I think you shift. Now you punt the football.
Sure. Yeah. Otherwise, as I say, a 47-yarder in the open end of the stadium at Heinz Field, no sure thing. And the 52-yarder even worse. So now they'll punt as Capanos will try to pin them deep. So they just re-signed Capanos. Nose down. Walks it to the 8-yard line where it's fair caught by Webb. So 2:25. One timeout. The 2-minute warning. And they need a touchdown, not a field goal. 20-16 as Flacco leads his group out.
Joe Flacco's won a lot of playoff games over the years, but where it has not happened is against these guys. And a series sweep would be huge. All the tiebreakers would then go in the Ravens' favor, but this is a long road against one great defense.
From the 8. Having to go 92 yards against the number 2 defense in the league. And Flacco escapes and then slings it out of bounds. So it'll be 2nd and 10. One more time, the standings in this division where the Cincinnati Bengals shocking everybody. They won 6 out of 8. Pittsburgh with a win would go to 7-2. They haven't had their bye week yet. Baltimore's had its bye week, but they'd go to 5-3. One thing about the Ravens, they're dying to get a home playoff game. They've been to the playoffs 3 straight years. They played 7 playoff games, every one on the road. 2nd and 10.
Need a completion. Ray Rice is usually the guy.
4-man rush. Over the middle, that's caught, and that is caught by Anquan Bolden, and the veteran takes the ball out to the 30-yard line, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning. First down, they spotted at the 29-yard line. So this one will go right down to the end. We're back to the Sunday Night Football we knew and loved in September. 20-16. Wendy's post-game report coming up. Michelle with an interview from the field. Bob, Tony, and Mike wrapping up the game of the day. And Chris and I will take a look ahead to the Patriots and the Jets next Sunday night. From the 29. One timeout for Baltimore. 71 yards away. Protected, pass caught, inbounds at the 42-yard line, and staying in is Laquan Williams. So the clock keeps on rolling, and that's a first down. Ball to the 42-yard line. Snap it with 135, and that's too high off the hands of Rice, and there was Polamalu in the neighborhood, stopping the clock with 90 seconds, 2nd down and 10. Roethlisberger has done his work.
Troy Polamalu here. Watch the break on the football. As fast as anybody on the field in this given moment. You have to be aware where you think he's going to end up is not usually where he is.
2nd and 10. So from the pocket, and that's caught at the 50-yard line. That is Bolden across the 50, setting up a 3rd down and 1. From the 49, the clock keeps on rolling. 113, 112, and down it goes. On 3rd and 1, and that is knocked down by Larry Foote. So it comes down to this play to try to keep the Ravens alive. Foote knocking it down, 4th and 1 with 66 ticks left.
Larry Foote just getting everybody settled right there.
$65,000 rise as 1 now on 4th and 1. And Flacco is able to keep it alive as Bolden makes the catch. Got position on Gay. He makes the tackle. That ball will be spotted at the 39-yard line.
Well, by moving Anquan Bolden into the slot, he's gotten William Gay now instead of Ike Taylor, and he's starting to catch the ball.
Now he goes the other way, and that is caught on the outside for a very short gain by Ed Dixon, and the clock stops with 42 seconds.
T-Sizzle says this is what it's supposed to be. This is fun. This is Baltimore. This is Pittsburgh. This is first place on the line. This is the whole deal.
2nd and 8 from the 37. Flacco under pressure, stepping up again, going deep, and it's off the fingertips of Torrey Smith. He'd gotten behind Ike Taylor. The speedy Smith was there, off his fingertips. 3rd down.
Troy Polamalu was in pursuit to the other side of the field, one-on-one coverage. Got to make the play. Got to make that play. That's a championship moment right there. Not a simple catch, but a catch that has to be made. Troy Polamalu right here is going to sprint to double coverage on the other side. There was no help whatsoever. Flacco read it beautifully, and Smith just missed it.
3rd and 8. Flacco to the outside, and that is caught. And that is Bolden again. And Bolden having another huge game. Last week he was the star against Arizona. Bolden tonight has caught 7, including a couple of very clutch catches on this drive. 28 seconds left.
Well, just a good move in here, and now they've got Ike Taylor in there on Bolden, but Bolden breaks away.
And Pittsburgh now takes a timeout.
You know, Torrey Smith, that drop on top of that holding call on the opening play where Ray Rice took it the distance. A lot to think about. Remember, early in camp, Torrey Smith was so down on himself. All the drops he had in camp, basically some of the players had to sit him down and go, listen, man, you're okay, and build his confidence. Here's the very first play of the game. The hold right there cost an opening play touchdown to the Ravens.
Unless Gay would have made the tackle and he was in position to do that. But you know what we were talking about early on? Harbaugh's decision to kick a field goal from inside the 1-yard line earlier. So they're going for the touchdown. And that's come home to roost a little bit at this point. First down, 28 seconds. Baltimore with 1 timeout and 26 yards away. Pressure from Flacco's right. And then the pass is incomplete. That time intended for David Reed, who runs back kicks. First time he's been targeted tonight. Taylor with the coverage. 2nd down.
Well, Ike Taylor, like any veteran corner, is going to take an angle here and cut off the receiver Reed and basically just beat him to the point. We see Darrelle Revis do that all the time. Nice play there by Taylor. A little surprising, but really Flacco just looking for the single coverage now and taking his shots.
Reed to the left. They got Bolden in the slot to the right. They got Smith outside to the right. Flacco hanging in the pocket, throws, and then Bolden can't make the catch at the 11-yard line. He was there and dropped it at the 11, and they could have stopped the clock with a timeout. Instead, it's 3rd down and 10 with 16 seconds.
Receiver's just not making the play. Here he is. He gets to go against Gay again, makes a nice move, and simply drops the football. Joe Flacco is doing a great job on this drive, and his receivers are completely letting him down.
Smith one, and then Bolden there too. Bolden against slot right, Smith wide right, Reed wide left. Flacco again protected well. To the end zone he goes, and it's caught for the touchdown by Torrey Smith. And there's a flag down at the 2-yard line. With defensive interference, that will hold up, and with 8 seconds left, the Ravens will conclude a 92-yard drive with a touchdown.
Pass interference, 22. Defense. Ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Well, you can't write this script. Smith drops one, Bolden drops one, and then the rookie comes back and makes his first touchdown catch since he caught 3 in 1 quarter at St. Louis in week 3.
And you just have to wonder what Ryan Clark is doing on the play. I mean, he basically has the deep responsibility here to get over the top. A little nudge off there on the part of Torrey Smith. But that's a play that you have to have your safety, Ryan Clark, get there. He's not very fast, a very physical safety. He just undercut that one a little too much, and it cost him. And for Joe Flacco, that was sensational.
Well, Flacco played the best game of his career in the minds of almost everybody on opening day. And then that drive was gigantic in so many ways. Because this will give them a sweep of the series. It'll give them the tie break if they wind up with the same record as Pittsburgh. And we're not forgetting about Cincinnati, but just these two teams and where they've come from, and every game they've played in the last few years, a memorable one.
Here we go. Here's Ryan Clark. He's going to have to defend that one. He has half the field. You have to get deeper than the deepest in this situation. He was a little short, probably looking for Bolden on that crossing route. And there's that little nudge. I'm sure it'll be talked about by Torrey Smith. Looks like a veteran player. Got away with it, and it was huge. Remember another guy, Santonio Holmes, who missed one in a key situation and came back and made a big catch in the Super Bowl.
Speaking of 92-yard drives, that was a 92-yard drive by Roethlisberger in the Super Bowl. And then Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis and Ed Reed basically sat that young man down when he kept dropping so many balls in training camp and said, listen, you have to get over this. You have to not worry about making mistakes and start making plays. And boy, did he come up in a monster way there. Joe Flacco said that Torrey Smith is finally the deep threat that we have not had, that I have not had since I've been here. Tremendous.
Ravens head to Seattle next week. Then the Bengals pay a call to Baltimore, and then 4 nights after that on Thanksgiving night, it's Harbaugh versus Harbaugh, with the 49ers coming in to take on the Ravens.
Let it go.
8 seconds left.
Now you have a chance here.
Well, you got the 20-yard line.
You got 8 seconds and you have a timeout, right?
Well, yeah, but what from the 20-yard line, good luck.
Well, I'm just saying, you end up throwing one down there, get out of bounds quickly, and who knows, take a shot at a long field goal.
Yeah, well, you have to get it down the field, what, 40 yards?
You've been watching the NFL this year.
Look,
it's nuts.
I'm not putting anything past this, but I'm giving you about 500 to 1 on that right now.
Okay. I'm not taking it.
All right, 450.
The Ravens with guys all the way back.
The Ravens were to cover 6. They've even got Lewis about 20 yards down the field.
And final team timeout. Baltimore.
Ravens will take
30-second timeout.
a timeout here just to make sure they're either in a cover 6 or a cover 7.
The other thing you have to be exceptionally careful of here is no pass interference down the field, because then you can get an untimed down.
Right, then you're talking about something different.
This drive will be talked about for a long, long time. He had a chance earlier, beat the Steelers' best corner, comes right back. And here it is, the veteran extension of the arm, got away with it. Ray Lewis, have they finally turned the tide against this Steelers team?
And Roethlisberger just scanning, and then he's going to throw it, and he throws it on one hop with 2 seconds left. Now I'm giving you 10,000 to 1.
All right, let me get the Stanford band out.
It's about your only hope.
Boy, oh boy, this is one that you end up with the Steelers defense out there on the field and having to defend 92 yards, and they can't do it.
Well, you know, coaches are always saying we got to get off the field on 3rd down, and a lot of different components go into the result of every game. But tonight on 3rd down, the Ravens were 14 of 21, which is sensational, including the winning touchdown.
And Corey Redding jumped off sides and made them punt the football in that situation instead of the field goal.
Last play of the game, barring a defensive foul, and the ball on the ground. And the Baltimore Ravens will have swept the season series, go to 6-2, and there's Harbaugh. John Harbaugh has done such a magnificent job in his 4th season, and Mike Tomlin, who's seen the highs and the lows, of course, 2 Super Bowl appearances. And the Baltimore Ravens come in and pull one off after having the lead for most of the game, coughing it up, and then winning it with 8 seconds to go. 23-20, Baltimore. Coming right up, the Wendy's post-game report. And you'll see that after these messages from your local NBC station.